What if I tell you you can actually hypnotize yourself to be a millionaire or to be rich? Or pretty much anything. You can be an influencer with the millions of followers, or you can be the best public speaker in the world. You can actually hypnotize yourself to become anything you ever want in your life. And yeah, sounds crazy, right? But trust me, your mind is way more powerful than you actually ever taught to believe. However, the problem is that most people don't control their mind. So their mind controls them. And it also happens in the business too. A lot of entrepreneurs think that they own a business, but oftentimes business owns them. That's why they're stuck in a stress, burnout, exhaustion, and they work 12 hours a day, constantly chased down by the anxiety and the fear and the self-doubt. And then all these emotions are suppressed. But this is exactly how the mind control works. It's so subtle and it's sneaky. You don't even realize, but you're influenced, you're hypnotized, and whatever you believe creates your reality. As a matter of fact, 99% of everything you do, actions, decisions, or how much money you make, the lifestyle, how much time you have, and every thought process and emotional process and behavior process, 99%, everything comes from your subconscious. We think we have control, but we don't. We are controlled by subconscious. So how you can actually hack the system so that we can get what we want. This is when the hypnosis comes, because hypnosis is the fastest and the best way to reprogram your mind. We're gonna hack the system, okay? Because the goal for us to get what we want to be happy and fulfilled, we want to be rich and abundant and confident so that we can have the best life ever. But we have to understand how to hack our mind. So that's why in this video, I'm gonna share how I hypnotize myself to become a millionaire. And also, I use the exact same principle to become a TEDx speaker. And I also have a couple million followers on social media. And I am who I am now because of learning how to hack the system. So I'm going to share exactly how you can do the too. And I will even give you the audio, hypnosis audio that got me $1 million, and as well as for my clients. For example, I just received a text from Rami. She's hitting 80K this month. And when she came to my coaching, she was actually hitting like 20K or 15 to 20K per month. And then in 3 months, she's literally 4x her income. But the best part is she's not sacrificing her soul. She's not working 12 hours a day. She's not a slave of her own business. She's working less than she used to. She is just effortless. She is chill. She's happy and content. And then a 4x the income. Also, the other client of mine, Nathan, he started his new business, which is e-com business, exact same time as he started coaching with me. The biggest obstacle for him was not about money. It was about the confidence and self-worth, because he needed to constantly work and sacrifice himself. And now he's actually started working less, have more free time with his wife and then friends, and just quality time, very zen and very chill. And still growing every month. And then 3 months after working with me, he's already hitting 70K revenue, 25K profit. And this is exactly how the mind works. If you control your mind, you can reduce the work hours. Instead of becoming a slave of a business and working insanely and believing somebody taught you, you have to work hard, wake up 5 a.m. and then go to sleep at 1 a.m. and just work and sacrifice your soul, life, everything into just money. Money is not as valuable as you think, but a lot of people think that money is so valuable that they believe that money is higher than themselves. And that's why people sacrifice their soul and then their life to money. But that's the wrong way to make money. That's the wrong way to manifest abundance. So I decided to give this one hypnotic audio for abundance and confidence so that you can actually achieve more goals and make your dream come true. So the first and foremost, what we need to understand that everything is hypnosis, and therefore you are already in the trance, okay? This trance is AKA alternative state of your consciousness. And then we are already in this trance because 99% we are trance. And when we are in trance, we are using the program from the subconscious, okay? And without you knowing it, whether you like it or not, you're in trance majority of the time. When we are in trance, your subconscious takes control. And again, 99% of our life, subconscious takes control. To prove your point, when you drive, you're not thinking about it consciously. You're just driving and then you're realizing a lot of things, and then you can drive safely because you're unconscious using the program of driving. Or if you speak English or Japanese or any other languages, then you're not thinking consciously each words to come up with the sentences. It naturally happens and you're just communicating very, very flawlessly. It's because you're not thinking consciously. You're using the unconscious mind, which is the program, okay? But do you remember when you start learning a different languages or different sports, something new? I remember when I first driving. As a matter of fact, I just got a new car, which is my very, very fast car. It's a vintage car. And it's a 1968 Mercedes. And this is a stick car, right? It's a manual. It's not even here. It's actually here. And there's a handle and there's a shift key. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's super cool. And I love it. But it had been such a long time for me to drive a stick car. I do have a license. I know how to drive. And I'll be completely honest, I sucked on the first day. I was miserable. I was driving like a pathetic piece of shit in a majestic cars. Everybody looking at my car because it's so cool. But then my driving was so pathetic. The point is, when you start doing something new, you don't have a neurological connection, which is the program up in your subconscious. So therefore, you need a conscious effort. So whatever you're going to learn, or pretty much anything, sports, business, content creation, whatever, you have to go through this 4-layer of thought process. And then the first stage is unconscious incompetence. And second stage is a conscious incompetence. And third stage is a conscious competence. And the fourth stage is unconscious competence. So the first stage is when you start something new and then you have no idea how to do it. You know, when I started driving the stick car at the school, I was like, holy shit, this is so difficult, right? And I didn't know, consciously, I don't know what I don't know. And the second stage is that you're consciously aware that you cannot do it. So you try and you failed, and now you're like, oh shit, this is not working, right? And now you start practicing from here. And the third stage is now you're getting there. So because you went through the repetition, you practice a lot, now you can consciously think and then you can do it. And now I'm getting better at driving. I'm really good right now, but I still have to think consciously, be careful with the clutch and manuals, brake and axles and everything. So I'm still thinking about it. So because I'm on the third stage of driving a stick car. And then once you drive so many times, then it becomes the fourth stage, the unconscious competence, aka autopilot. This is when that becomes your program. So this becomes your program. It's a neurological connection with your body and mind, so that your body moves unconsciously to, make sure that you're starting smoothly, and then everything, the gears and everything is perfect. And as well as for example, content creation or running a business. Everything goes through this 4-layer of thought process to become the program in your subconscious. So if you can actually shorten the process and then hack your subconscious, creating exact program that we want, you can make money effortlessly. This is exactly how it works. If you can have the program of making millions of dollars, or becoming the best public speaker, or becoming the best influencer in the world, and having millions of followers, and then having amazing content, then it will happen automatically whether you like it or not, because you don't need to think at this point. Once it becomes your program, that's what's going to happen. The reason why once you build the program, everything happens naturally and effortlessly, whether you like it or not. And this is something that you never heard. Your subconscious actually decides the target. This is the target, right? Which is the future. So your subconscious mind, once it becomes the program, first target the future. So lock on. Beep, 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 beep. It's lock on. Right? So this is the result. It's already locked on in the program, which is going to be completely autopilot. What happens is it will calculate backwards to manifest this target to become the reality. So if you're actually thinking about looking forward, then your conscious mind can only think what's going to happen in the future, what's going to happen in the future, what's going to happen in the future, what's going to happen in the future. But with this way of anticipating, it's very difficult because we never know what the future looks like. It's impossible for us to anticipate. And the only way that we can predict the future is we need data of the past. However, the only way that we can predict the future is the wrong way, which everybody falls into this trap. Why? Because if you predict the future and then actions, right? Here's the different actions, here's the different decisions. You have to meet those kind of people based on the past. You've never achieved the target that you want to achieve, right? That's why you want to manifest. That's why your desire, because you've never done it before. For example, you want to be a millionaire, or you want to, become the influencer. You want to be a figure. Cool, but you've never done it. So if you predict that, how does it look like to get there, the path, to get to the future. If you predict based on the past, then your future looks exactly like the past because you're using the same recipe as before, trying to create something new. It's not going to happen because the recipe is not aligned with your future. However, your subconscious can calculate backwards beyond time and space to basically give you exact step that you need to take, exact action that you need to take, and it takes control, right? So that's why your body, your habit, your actions, your decision-making pattern, your beliefs, or even the worlds that you see is going to be completely controlled by your subconscious, and then everything will be perfectly designed to get exactly what you want. That's why you have to hack the system, otherwise there's no way. Your free will is not strong enough. Okay, a lot of motivational gurus tell you like, be disciplined, be conscious. Nothing works, right? Because your conscious mind is obviously a 1%. It's not strong enough. And your free will doesn't have enough power to beat the program. Simple as that. So how can we hack the subconscious in the first place? That's what we want to know, right? Of course. What you have to do is you have to understand the brain waves, okay? And then there's a theta waves, perhaps you've heard of that, or alpha. Alpha is actually fine. Okay, there's a beta, which is faster. And there's a delta right there, but we're not going to talk about it because the beta is where you are right now. It's like very fast. The good example will be like if you drink coffee, you caffeinate your focus. That's very fast brainwaves, very active, right? Alpha is more slow, right? Theta is more even slow, like that. So obviously theta is more slow and gentle brainwaves, and then alpha is between of this like active beta waves and then alpha, right? The reason why it's so important to understand these brainwaves is because theta is more suggestible. This is called a receptive state. This is the way that you want to hypnotize yourself, okay? So it's like the gate, right? When the gate opens, the portal opens, it's like, whoa, portal opened. Now you can actually go into your subconscious directly and then pass the filter, okay? And there's a filter right there in this conscious mind. And then there's subconscious. So you can be aware of a lot of things, right? Like for example, oh, I want to make money, or I want to be a millionaire, whatever. But it never passed the filter. It goes like this. And once it passes subconscious, this is when you're suggestible state. And then if you can pass the filter, you can add a different positive beliefs, which is going to be your program. Again, once it programmed in your subconscious as a beliefs, it calculates backwards and then give you exact step that you need to do. And then whether you like it or not, you're going to achieve the goal. Okay? So this is exactly how I hypnotize. First, you have to tap in to the theta waves. And this is what the Neville Goddard, if you like law of attraction manifestation, Neville Goddard is one of the OG, okay? He wrote the book called The Feeling is a Secret. It's a beautiful book. And then one of the quote that he says in the book of Feeling is a Secret is, what you pray is not the most important thing. How you prepare yourself to pray is the most important thing. It means you have to tap into the theta to prepare yourself so the portal is open and you can bypass this filter and then tap into your subconscious. And then once you tap into the subconscious mind, then the program is set, the plants are seed. Now you just keep watering them, and then now you can skip this 4 layer of thought process, and then boom, all the way to the top. That's why I create the fast result, okay? I am so good, I'm the best at hacking people's mind so that I can make a positive transformation in people rapidly. If I have a superpower as an Avengers, then I'm so fucking good at making people the best version of themselves fast. But listen, a couple of years ago, I was a completely different person. And looking back in hindsight, it's crazy how hypnosis helped me to become a completely different person. Not only the achievement, but the most important part is that who I became. And I'm so proud of myself, and I'm very, very happy that I am who I am now. And that cannot be measured by the money or success that I have. It is so internal, and it gives me peace and it gives me happiness, okay? And it inspires a lot of people now. And then that's so blessed to be, I'm so blessed to be in a position of where I am right now. But a couple of years ago, I was not the same person. And I was struggling. I was feeling so small. I was stuck. I was broke. And everything was completely different. And the other day, I had a lunch with the oldest friend of mine, okay? We know each other since we were 2 years old. Since, 3 years old, we were like that, yeah, probably a little bit bigger, I don't know. And then she sent me this picture of like me and her having a conversation 3 years ago. That was us reunited after like 10 years of like not seeing each other, and we kind of like, our path came across together again, and we had a beautiful reunited moment, and we had a great chat. And she sent me a picture from 3 years ago. I look completely different because internally I'm completely, totally different person. Therefore, externally I'm different. I look different. I have different things, and my money, my income is completely different. Everything is just completely different because I live in a completely different reality. And I remember that was 3-4 years ago, the picture we took, and I was writing a journal every day, and I was doing affirmations, and I was working so hard and like tried to be disciplined, and then still not making the result. And it was funny because in my mind, now I look back in hindsight, I remember that my self-worth was so low. I just couldn't feel worthy to own my skills and my knowledge and what I can do for people. Therefore, I was just lowballing myself. I was selling myself cheap, lowering my standards, and, being humble, but actually not feeling confident enough. So that's why I needed to have something externally, such as strategies. I was just immersed myself in the marketing, copywriting, and as well as content creation, and I have so many followers and everything, but then I was still feeling the same way. My program was exactly the same, and therefore my result wasn't really different. And I remember that fast breakthrough that I had was hiring my fast coach, Abraham. It's like brother to me now, and he's a really fucking great friend, brother to me. We connected in a deeper level, not just coaching client, but that was the best investment I ever did in my life. And honestly, it was way too expensive for me back then. I was only making like $3,000. I remember that, like making 3K per month, but like I needed to do something. So I decided to take a leap of faith and then start working with him. And my goal was to making 15K per month, right? And back then, and I was like, okay, I gotta do it. The reason why that was the best investment, because of that, I changed my program, because he helped me to, of course, not only the strategies and marketing, but the best change that he helped me to create was internal. And I became more confident. My self-worth increased. My self-image changed. And that was a breakthrough for me. And then that was the best investment. And as a matter of fact, self-investment is the best investment that you ever do. Because since that day, I just keep investing myself. And this is my mentor told me. One of my mentors actually, went to Tony Robbins' seminar back in the days, right? And then he invested 70K. And I was like, whoa, that's a lot. Like 70K for a mastermind of Tony Robbins. and he was saying that when he signed the contract, his hands was like shaking because he was 25 years old back then and he invested $70,000 for a fucking mastermind. He said to me, look, Sho, whatever you invest in yourself, you will make 10x of your self-investment. So it makes sense because I've invested more than $200,000 of like self-investment of coaches, consulting and everything. And the reason why this works for you too is because we are hypnotizing ourselves with their standards, their perspective, their beliefs, right? They have a different program. That's why they can hit different target, right? And they have less limiting beliefs. They have less blockages and self-worth is higher and more confident. And we are downloading by interacting and by listening to them closely to a really intimate level. And that's why it's also another hypnosis that you can actually use. Everything is hypnosis. Some people say hypnosis is dangerous, I'm not going to be hypnotized, or it's a bullshit, it's performance, blah, blah, blah. It's literally understanding how to hack your mind. Your mind is, like I said, all in trance. You're literally in this cycle of trance all the time and you don't know how to break out of it. Therefore, you're 99% controlled by your subconscious. But my hypnosis skills is one of the best in the world. Why? Because I have variety of understanding of not only just how your mind works, but how your body works and everything. And therefore, I can hijack that. And that's how I help people to break through and break out of this old habits, old programming, the past conditions and trauma, and deconstruct their identity from deep subconscious levels. So whether you're aware or not, it doesn't matter because you're not aware of your body, heartbeat, and you know, like how many times that you're breathing right now or how many times you're blinking. And it's the indication of your conscious doesn't have enough self-awareness. I mean, we are not self-aware enough. And that's just how we're designed because you're in trance 99%. And then you don't know how to break out of it. So that's why I created this hypnotic audio and I'm gonna give it to you. And also I'm gonna give you this specific audio for guided meditation. And this guided meditation is not for mindfulness. It literally takes your blockages away of the abundance and money. A lot of people have money and an abundance blockages. So in this meditation, I will take you to a deep theta state and then take out all these blockages for money and abundance. And obviously my hypnosis audio will tap into a theta and an alpha, right? So this is the best time when the portal is open, you can hijack it and go to subconscious, okay? And then if I would do it, I do a seminar and I literally the other day hypnotized 90 people one by one, put in a trance, literally can't move on the floor. And some people don't believe that it's, you know, it's act or whatever, but you can see it. You can see it when you hijack people's mind. It's just, that's how it looks like. And I know it sounds insane. That wasn't supposed to be happening, but you know, everyone wanted to be hypnotized because I demonstrated to people and it showed how quickly I can hijack people's mind and then literally install positive, confident, and abundant beliefs right away without going through this 4-layer of thought process. And then people saw it and everybody's lined up and then I had to go through 90 people one by one, sleep, and then hypnotize 90 people one by one. So I'm gonna literally give you this pathway to the top. You don't need to climb up, you need elevator. And I'm gonna give you the elevator. What is this? I will give you the meditation guided hypnosis audio that puts you in the theta and then reprogram your mind so that you can skip all these 4-layer of thought process and as well as also repetition. Yes, only thing we need to do is hijack your mind and install the better, positive, abundant, confident beliefs so that you can create the identity level of transformation. So listen, your mind is not your enemy. You just have to understand how to control your mind. Okay, if you know how to control your mind and as well as your energy, your chi, then that is gonna be the best ally for you. But because you don't know how to control your mind or energy, your mind controls you, your energy controls you. And therefore you have zero control over, okay? Something happened and you just have to react. You just have to react here, react here, react here. Therefore, you're owned by your mind, you're owned by your business, you're owned by your energy or environment, everything but not you. And that's why it's very important, be in control. I genuinely hope that you take advantage of this hypnosis audio and meditation, because this got me and my clients like multi 6-figure to 8-figure result. Okay? All right. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.